Have you ever looked at a picture of Stonehenge and just wondered how, and more importantly, why? For centuries, this circle of massive stones has stood silently on the Salisbury Plain in England, holding its secrets tight. We've heard theories about ancient druids, alien landing pads, and giant calendars. But what if I told you that recent discoveries are completely rewriting the story of Stonehenge? That the mystery we've been trying to solve for so long is finally starting to unravel? Stick with me, because we're about to journey back in time and uncover the new, incredible truth behind one of the world's greatest wonders. First, let's get our bearings. What we call Stonehenge wasn't built in a day. It was a project that spanned over 1,500 years, starting around 3000 BC. That's older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. The monument we see today is just the final phase. The first version was actually a large circular ditch and bank, with a ring of 56 pits known as the Aubrey Holes. The giant stones came much, much later. Now, for the big question, where did these stones come from? We have two main types. The larger, outer stones are called sarcens. These behemoths weigh up to 30 tons each. For a long time, we just knew they were local. But local in archaeological terms could mean a pretty wide area. But thanks to modern geochemical analysis, scientists have pinpointed their exact origin. They matched the chemical signature of the sarcens at Stonehenge to a specific spot called West Woods, about 15 miles north of the site. 15 miles might not sound like a lot, but imagine dragging a 30-ton rock the weight of 5 elephants across the countryside without wheels or modern machinery. This wasn't just a building project. It was a monumental, almost fanatical, act of community effort. But the real head-scratcher has always been the smaller bluestones. These weigh a mere 2 to 5 tons each. For decades, we've known they came from the Preseli Hills in Wales. The shocking part, that's nearly 150 miles away. Why on earth would anyone transport these massive stones over such a vast distance, across land, and probably water? This has been one of Stonehenge's most enduring mysteries. Did they haul them on sledges? Float them on rafts? The sheer logistics are mind-boggling, and this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. For years, the prevailing theory was that the Neolithic people went to Wales, quarried these bluestones, and then began the epic journey back to Salisbury Plain, specifically to build Stonehenge. But new archaeological evidence from a site in Wales suggests something entirely different, something that flips the old narrative on its head. Archaeologists, led by Professor Mike Parker Pearson, have been excavating to ancient quarry sites in the Preseli Hills, named Carn Godog and Craig Rosewyfellan, and they found more than just the spots where the bluestones were extracted. They found stone tools, ropes made of plant fibers, and evidence of platforms and ramps used to move the stones. More importantly, they found evidence of a prehistoric stone circle that had been built right there in Wales, using those very blue. Carbon dating of charcoal from ancient campfires at the site suggests this Welsh stone circle, which some are calling Wan Mon, was erected around 3400 BC. That's 400 years before any work began at Stonehenge. But here's the kicker. The evidence also suggests that this circle was later dismantled. The holes where the stones once stood are empty, and the dimensions of this dismantled Welsh circle, they match the bluestone circle at Stonehenge almost perfectly. Let me say that again, because it's a game changer. The bluestones at Stonehenge weren't quarried and brought directly to Salisbury Plain. They were first part of another, even older, stone circle in Wales. It seems that the builders didn't just move rocks. They moved an entire, pre-existing monument. It was a second-hand monument, a piece of architectural recycling on an epic scale. This discovery is huge because it shifts the central question from how to why. Why would a community dismantle their sacred monument and move it 150 miles to a new location? The answer might lie in migration. The evidence suggests that the people who built the original circle in Wales eventually moved, and they took their ancestral stones with them. These stones weren't just building materials. They were the embodiment of their identity, their history, their ancestors. Moving them was like moving their entire heritage. It was an act of preserving their culture as they established a new home on the Salisbury Plain. This changes how we see the people who built Stonehenge. They weren't just incredible engineers. They were a people with deep ancestral connections and a powerful sense of place and identity. The bluestones were their link to the past, their sacred heirlooms. When they migrated, they brought their ancestors symbolized by these stones with them. So, Stonehenge becomes a story of unification. It represents the merging of two cultures. You have the local people of the Salisbury Plain, who sourced the giant sarsen stones from West Woods, and the migrant community from Wales, who brought their ancient blue stones. Stonehenge is the point where these two worlds met. It's a monument to unity, a symbol of a new, combined community being formed. The outer circle of massive local sarsens protects the inner circle of ancient, ancestral bluestones from a distant homeland. It's a beautiful, powerful story written in stone. And the purpose of the site itself, the alignment with the solstices, the sunrise at the summer solstice and sunset at the winter solstice, has always been clear. It was a calendar, marking the changing of the seasons, which was vital for an agricultural society. But it was more than that. Excavations of burials around the site show that, from its earliest days, Stonehenge was a place of the dead, a cemetery. The cremated remains found in the Aubrey holes are some of the oldest in Britain. So, Stonehenge was likely seen as a bridge between the worlds of the living and the dead. A place where people gathered at key moments of the year to honor their ancestors and celebrate the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. By bringing their ancestral stones from Wales, the migrants were literally planting their ancestors in this new, sacred landscape, merging their lineage with that of the local people. The story of Stonehenge is no longer just about mysterious druids or lost technology. It's a deeply human story. It's about migration, identity, and the timeless need to connect with our roots and honor those who came before us. It's about communities coming together to create something monumental, something that would last for millennia. The real magic of Stonehenge isn't in how they moved the stones, but why they were so determined to do so. They were carrying their home, their history, and their heart across a country to build a new future. As we continue to peel back the layers of time with new technology and incredible archaeological work, the stones are finally starting to talk. They tell a tale, not of aliens or magic, but of human resilience, devotion, and the powerful bonds of community and ancestry. The mystery isn't entirely solved. Of course, there are still countless questions, but we are closer than ever to understanding the true purpose of this incredible place. It's a story that's still being uncovered, written 5,000 years ago, and only now being read. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the new secrets of Stonehenge. What part of this new evidence blows your mind the most? Let me know down in the comments. And if you love unraveling ancient mysteries as much as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the past. We'll see you in the next video.